doing it
Yep.
since 1982. And no, only joke. And,
Yeah, no, you're right.
and he's a fine artist in his own right. So you love art and artists.
I love art and artists and musicians and filmmakers and my God, I uploaded that film, by the way, the one that Gosford TV did of me. So if you want to see it, it's on the ABC Facebook.
Excellent. That's Jason Van Genderen and
Yeah.
Dave Abrahams and others are involved.
And I'm not as fat as I look on that film, by the way.
No, you're not.
It's
You're
the
not.
camera. It's the
It
camera.
is. Look at the fat can.
It's fat camera.
You're very little. You're only very slight.
Yeah, like a little tattoo.
Yeah. The
Now
plane.
we're talking. What's on first up?
If you want to do that, there's I'll go far. Mysteries of the Masters. The Central Coast Conservatorium presents the final in the series, which is concluding with 4 centuries of British music, and it's all conducted by our mate Chris Bierman, wielding his baton.
I was reading
You
the
never
paper
let me
today.
play with.
Yes, no, you don't touch the baton. It's like Harry
I
Potter's
always
wand.
like to. I like to count them in. A 1, a 2, a 1, 2,
See,
3,
people
4.
would blow up in a puff of smoke. It's like Harry Potter's wand if you wield it.
I know.
But
I
Chris
turn
is
people into frogs.
wrapping up his time at the Conservatorium too, I see in the paper today, after 10 years behind the baton.
What a loss.
Yeah, and it's good that he's going out with all of the greats, the English, Britton and Elgar and all of those
Yeah.
guys. He loves all of that stuff. He's very keen on the English composers, so that's a wonderful tribute.
I read this book, Patrick White was the writer. He used to write to Mahler. Boy, oh boy, no wonder his writing is so heavy.
Mahler, the composer.
Yeah.
It's 14 to 3, 92.5 ABC Central Coast, and we have an artist.
We have.
An artist in the studio.
Yes.
Introduce her.
Megan Dawes is from the National Arts School in Sydney. It's a very famous and wonderful school. And they've got their end of year show coming up, which I go to. And it's a fabulous representation of modern young artists. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
That's our pleasure.
Now,
You still qualify as a modern young artist.
well, if you ask my mum, I'm still young. I'm always her kid, she reckons. So.
Yeah, that's right.
But Trevor and I were talking about Picasso earlier, and how his art is still contemporary when you look at it. And he was painting those before people were flying, and cars still had horses attached to the front.
So it shows that art,
It could still be hung in a modern house.
the active imagination leads the way, doesn't it?
Yeah, he was.
And tell me about your
Yes.
time at that prestigious school.
Well, it's flown. 3 years has absolutely flown. It's jam-packed, it's intense, but highly rewarding. I haven't regretted a moment of it.
And you dwell in the three-dimensional arts.
I do sculpture, but the art school also specialises in drawing, and I think that's why I went there. I've got quite a keen interest in drawing as well.
Very
so,
important drawing.
Do you have to draw before you sculpt sometimes?
Some people do, some people don't. I guess my drawing practice is separate to my sculpture, but they inform each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And is your lecturers there? Is there anyone famous that we could know?
Yes. David Fairbairn. Who,
Yes, I've heard of him.
Susan Archer, who won the
Heard of her.
Dobell last year.
Yeah.
Dave Horton won Sculpture by the Sea a couple of years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, there's some very contemporary Australian artists who are lecturing there at the moment. Yeah.
And what can the public see when they arrive for the big shows?
It's actually, I just was involved in the hanging yesterday,
Oh.
and there's just an
What a
amazing
Where's
diversity.
At the National Art School in
Darlinghurst.
Darlinghurst?
Yeah.
It's
And,
wonderful.
Yeah, look, there's something there for everybody.
There's various precincts when you go there. There's like the drawing area, and there's a sculpture area, and then there's open art area.
There's a gallery space, and then you can go through to the open studios. And so there's photography, ceramics,
fantastic.
printmaking. So and the styles are so diverse.
And
I
it's
think
haunted
that's-
as well, Scott.
It's an amazing space.
We're speaking with Megan Dawes, who's in the studio with us, one of the great students of the National Art School. Their end-of-year exhibition is on at Darlinghurst, so
Yep.
get
Around
down
the
there.
1st of December, isn't it?
Yes, that's the opening night, which is always a really fun time.
Next Thursday, that is.
Yeah.
Next Thursday, so
Get down there, and the Arnie will be there.
I will be there. I've got 3 bookings on that day, So I'll be finishing with the National Art School.
Is there anywhere we can see your work? I'd love to see people's work online, but sometimes it's not there.
I'm just setting up a website at the
Excellent.
moment.
It's
So
a very good thing. It's a useful tool.
It is. It's essential for business.
We can see Megan on the ABC Facebook.
Yeah.
Oh, of course.
I'm back. I've got my batteries back in order.
That's right. So
Having a battery issue.
Yanni will put this up on YouTube and people can
Next
have a
week,
look
yeah.
at what Megan looks like.
Yeah.
And tell me about the mediums you work with, Megan, and what you do.
This year I've actually been using fly screen and vermin mesh. I really like
Excellent.
and just everyday things that you perhaps may find in Bunnings.
Yeah.
So and then just seeing what those materials, the language that they inherently possess, and then see what I can do with it.
I've seen some of your work, and I love this latest stuff, the red sculptures.
Yeah,
It's
very
beautiful.
playful. I've used derivatives from the gas turbine engine actually, and just played
Oh, that's an
around with
interesting
shapes.
sculpture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're a bit into the built environment, are you? Well, like Yanni's a big one. He's always got some man-made thing.
It's hard
somewhere.
to avoid.
The beauty. That's the real beauty
I
of
like
life
both.
for me. Yeah.
I like the natural world, and I love the man-made.
Yeah, I love flowers, but I love, love bridges and
Yeah.
big bolts and things like that much more. Yeah, it's weird.
And how inspirational is it to be in amongst these select group of? I mean, it's quite a prestigious thing to be selected to go there, isn't it? So you're in amongst some really great talent.
It is, and it's just amazing to see how everyone has such a unique approach. I don't think you ever have an opportunity to really see how other people work in such an intimate way.
It must be fun.
Yeah, I'm going to miss it. I've made some really lifelong friends, I think, and connections.
So how do you keep that momentum going? You're planning an exhibition of your own, or you?
We've already locked in a few exhibitions with some friends.
So don't get caught up in that hangover. I know what it's like.
Yeah,
You
it's a
work
letdown.
really hard to
It's
get to a
intense.
show, and then the week after you're just nothing.
That's
I
right.
can never paint another picture.
How many pieces have you got for this exhibition?
I've worked in a very small scale, so I've got nearly 20.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Can they pick them up and take them home?
They absolutely can.
Oh, well, that's good.
And that goes for everybody. There's a lot of good bargains on sale.
And they do sell all the artworks there.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Good for the artists. Good for the artists.
And are you hoping to branch out into giant public art and wherever it takes you? Because we had Yanni's exhibition at Womberall.
The other day, and there was this fantastic fake argument going on between Peter Smith and the great sculptor Col Henry.
Yeah.
And it was the funniest thing you've ever heard. Peter's such a gentleman; he's just laughing and sniggering at Col, saying, "You don't know art. You don't know the meaning of hard work and blood and sweat and tears. The painters are so soft." And I said, "What are you up to, Col?" He said, "I just got a $100,000 commission at James Cook University in Townsville. I'm doing this big thing." He said it's a great big spike that goes 100 feet in the air, and then it represents fire and earth and water. And he's telling me all.
Amazing.
He's just such an incredible guy, and it's
So down to earth.
It's industry, isn't it?
It is. It's a huge undertaking, so I think I'll work my way up to that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, if you're prepared to shed some blood off your knuckles, Col will take you on as an apprentice. I think he might have he was saying his son works with him as well. It's quite a...
It's a family.
It tends to be a collaborative thing. You just cannot do that sort of work by yourself.
And it's great, isn't it, that those things will sit out there and interact with the weather. And I think this one he's doing in
they
Townsville
change.
actually,
Yeah.
water comes off it and it does this and that and it reaches it.
And lighting and everything. To consider all that is amazing.
I love sculpture.
Yeah.
It's
Do you
special.
live locally?
No, I actually live on the south coast, but I'm a regular visitor.
You better move here because this is where the sculptures
It
hang.
seems,
No.
yeah, anywhere.
It's
with
the centre of art on the planet.
Now, Yanni, Megan Dawes, thanks so much for coming in. And
Thank you.
people compete. The public go as of next Thursday to the
That's
exhibition.
right.
The
and
National
it's-
Art School.
Yep, it's open till the 10th of December, so come and visit us.
Yeah.
Come and buy some great
It's really
art.
good.
It's worth trying to find a partner.
Megan Dawes, thanks so much for joining.
Thanks, Megan.
And Yanni will head
Good
down
luck.
to the National Art School show.
I'll do a
Give us
package.
an update on that. Now, Yanni, exhibition.